Yo, what is going on, MLW fans? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the power rankings for the first slate of games in 2022. So basically, that just means the first series for every team is going to be ranked. A little bit of rules on how I'm going to be doing it. So I'm going to be ranking this by the 1 and 2 teams and the 2 and 1 teams. So there's not going to be any 1 and 2 teams over any 2 and 1 teams, just out of principle. That doesn't mean that necessarily I think that one team is better than the other. If they're a 1 and 2 team, I'm just going to be ranking them based on that. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So I am going to be ranking the Great Lakes Gators in last place, in 8th place this time. Not because I think that they're necessarily the worst, but if we're going off of recency, I feel the worst about how the Gators have played. Just very inconsistent. High-scoring games is not a good look for the Gators. And you can't really have that going into a tough NL with a reinvigorated Mallards, a reinvigorated Eagles. The Dbacks are still the Dbacks, and so I do not feel great about the Gators this season if they continue that stretch of inconsistency. This, for me, makes it feel like they are probably going to be the worst team out of this first slate. They could always improve, but I'm not really going to be high on them for the rest of the season, just seeing how this is not a good first impression for the 2022 season. Now, this could all change. I know they play the Eagles. I haven't seen any of the stuff yet. I know they put their first game out, so we'll see how it goes, but going against the Eagles, it's going to be an in-season rivalry. I don't think it's going to go well. Going with the next team, okay? I am going to put the Metro Magic in 7th. They had a lot of inconsistency when it comes to the plate. Found they didn't look too bad, especially Trevor Bottom looked really good. So I think that gives them an edge over the Gators, but still at the plate, they looked really bad. And I know they didn't have Jack Agner, but how much is Jack going to be really able to help if none of those guys are only getting, if none of those guys up there are able to get any hits? I mean, only a couple hits out of each series from Trevor and a little bit out of Chadwick, and not a lot of hope going into these next few games if you're a Magic fan. Now, I know they'll probably improve. They got a lot of a season to go. They usually warm up towards the end. It could be too little too late. They're going up against all these really tough opponents so soon. They could be out of it by the time we reach the All-Star break. So that's not a crazy thing to think. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but be on the lookout for that. All right, next up we got the Coastal Cobras in 6th. Cobras, through game 1, really should have been up 2-1. They shouldn't be in here. They probably should be the 3rd, up in the other tier of teams. But I think they're the 6th best team. They're definitely better than the Magic so far. They look a little more consistent. They have that bounce back ability. They have more pitchers. Their offense is a lot better. So for me, I think I definitely see a clear distinction so far between the Cobras and the Magic. The Cobras are definitely the better team so far this season through one game. Again, this is one game, and I really like the offensive power. I think Barron's pitching a lot better. Sarbine looks really good, and Drew hasn't even pitched yet, so other than the last inning, so he could still come up, still be really good. So I like the Cobras a lot better than I do the Magic so far, so I'm going to put them in 6th. In 5th place, it's going to be the Dbacks, obviously. World Series champions last year. They played the Wildcats, which may be their toughest game the whole season up until the playoffs. So, coming out 1-2 after they were down 1-2 really in the series, they could have won if they had 2 extra games. So who knows? They didn't look the best. However, I'm going to give them that their rookies look really good. Sawyer Bean looked really good. I didn't really see too much from at the plate, but I would say their rookies look really good. They just need to step up more, give more contribution consistently, and the D-backs are looking pretty good. So I have them in the 5th spot. Again, based on rules, not because I don't think that they're not the 2nd best team talent-wise, but I think just off of records-wise, they're 5th. Into 4th place, I'm going to put the Midwest Mallards. The Midwest Mallards look okay. I would say they look a lot better, but as we're talking about all the different pods and stuff I've been on, they just don't look super flashy. They don't have that third guy right now because Caden's gone, and there's a question mark over if he is going to be taking that next step to becoming really that third guy on that team. Not to say that he can't be a star, but like just taking that next step to be really good. They didn't really have that third guy. BDZ wasn't great, but he looked better than Ben Wilson. So it's not really looking too good so far. So I have them in the 4th spot, but going into these interleague matches, they could definitely drop down after I think they play the Dbacks. So yeah, that is not a really good game to come for. However, they could surprise me. They could surprise the Dbacks too. So if they if they are able to win the series, go 3-3, they could be still ahead of the Dbacks. But I doubt it. I think the Dbacks are going to come out hot. Sorry, 4-2. The D-backs are going to come out hot. They're probably going to be able to do really well. Jordan Robles is really good, but I don't think he's good enough to really win this next series for him. I think they're in a better spot than they were, but still, I think if they had Bonham in this position, they would have been a lot better. Going on to the next team, I am going to put Pacific Predators at 3. It's tough to say. I really like the way they came out. I think they're in the 3 spot just because, again, with the craziness of the Gators game, you saw how much are we really going to be able to take from that. I think they're definitely better than the Mallards, talent-wise for sure. But I don't know about the Eagles, and so I'm just going to say right now that the Preds have a good spot in 3. They looked really good, but again, that inconsistency, I'm just not sure about. Stephen McGlade came out really good this series. Mac Holly's going to be an on-base machine, it looks like. Ryan Crash is going to hit some bombs. Brad Russell's going to hit some bombs. Alec Lord is going to hit bombs. So they look really good. So look out for the Preds this season. I think they're had an off last year. This year gonna be a lot better. Then for the number 2, I think you already knew it. It's gonna be the Eagles. The Eagles are surprisingly really good. I didn't know how good they were gonna be. We knew they were gonna be a lot better than last year, but man, they really stepped it up this season with all their rookies. I played Locker looks really good. Landon Urgaitis looks really good. Dallas Allen is gonna be really good. So that is a huge step up for them, that all those rookies are really doing well. Zach Whalen is going to be consistent pretty much, and Dan just has to pitch really well. But if he can bring up his bat a little better and be more clutch, man, how is that going to really affect the team? It's going to be huge for them. That's what it's going to do. And I think that if they have a step up for the future, man, the Eagles could be looking at another championship here soon, and Dan can stop his slump. That's just going to be over time. They play the Gators, so this will be another warm-up game for the rookies to really figure out some really good pitchers and try to do better this season. All right, so that means in our number 1 spot, we have no surprise. It's the Western Wildcats. Man, they looked really good. They played probably the best team last season, the Downtown Diamondbacks, and they kind of showed them around, pushed them around a bit. If it wasn't for that walk-off, man, the Diamondbacks could have got sweeped. So Kyle didn't look amazing on the mound, but he did play guys who saw him over and over and over. Nick Saylor continued his amazing form, looked so unhittable. Jackson Pearson from the plate is a monster. Nick Saylor from the plate is a monster. Kyle Schultz from the plate is a monster. Who do you want to go up against? Who do you, realistically, in the Wildcats organization, who do you want to go up against? It's not looking good for anybody playing this season. So taking a game might be a blessing for any team this season. The Magic could get swept. The Cobras could get swept. The Preds could get swept. So you're really playing cat and mouse if you're in the AL. You're just trying not to get swept. If a team comes out and beats the Wildcats, that may be huge for their seasons. Being able to get in, being able to get into the playoffs may be a huge reason if you do win against the Wildcats. It's not looking good for anybody going against the Wildcats this season. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts of the rankings in the comments. Let me know if you have any differences. I know I put rules on mine. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.